Hey Travis kiddos, let's go over the reading work for today. I'm going to review the stories to read, the Your Turn workbook pages to do. I want to review this week and last week's sight words and phonics sounds, and I have a little game to practice some adjectives. So let's start by reviewing those sounds. Last week we worked on this sound. It is R. This week we're working on this sound, which is er, and sometimes with or. So remember, you can use those combinations of letters to make the same sound. Or is sometimes and sometimes or, which we're going to see in the upcoming weeks. I mixed up last week's and this week's sight words so that we aren't getting used to the same pattern and just remembering the words in order. So I have mixed them up. Are you ready? Put, full, climb, none, through, another, round, large, only, great, poor. So you can practice those some more if you'd like. The stories you're going to read today, if you'd like to reread A Bunny Wish, you can. You're going to reread Kitten's First Full Moon. And if you'd like to go ahead and read the other literature, that's in the literature anthology. If you'd also like to read The Moon, you can go ahead and get started on that or read that tomorrow. You're going to either use A Bunny Wish or Kitten's First Full Moon to complete the Your Turn workbook page 226 on cause and effect. If you've already done page 229 on the cause and effect in A Bunny Wish, you have some ideas. So you can use that to help you fill in this chart. Put the cause here, effect here. If you want to make more boxes at the bottom or even write in this one, you're welcome to do that if you find a lot of cause and effect in the story. So again, you have some help for Bunny Wish. If you want to challenge yourself, use Kitten's First Full Moon. It's a little bit of a longer story, quite a bit. So you'll have a lot more to work with cause and effect in Kitten's First Full Moon, but you get to choose. If you need some more support, use A Bunny Wish in page 229. If you want to challenge yourself, go ahead and use Kitten's First Full Moon. Then we're going to work on shades of meaning. So different words might mean similar things, but at different levels. So I could say, I'm starving, or I'm hungry, right? They both mean that you're hungry and need food, but one is much more extreme and dramatic than the other. Starving is a very strong word. You might actually not be starving, but you feel very hungry, and you exaggerate a little bit, right? I'm starving or just I'm hungry. So they both mean hunger, but in a very different way. So you are going to fill in page 230, looking at those shades of meaning. So read the sentence and look at the picture and see which one works better. So here, number one, Max is very wet. Is Max soaked or damp? Both of those mean that he's wet, but soaked means super duper wet and damp means a little bit wet. If you stood out in the pouring rain for 20 minutes, you'd be soaked. If it was a light drizzle or a mist, you might be a little bit damp, but you wouldn't be soaked, right? So look at the picture, see which one you think that matches the picture, and write a full sentence on the line. The next page is filling in the blank with the correct words, similar to last week's. But remember, this week's phonics skill is the sound. That might help you a little bit here. So read the sentence, circle the word that completes it, and write it in your best handwriting on the lines. Now, the next page, we are going to work on some grammar. So if I say I teach, I am a teacher. I added ER still our phonics sound too. I added to tell you that what I do is I teach. So adding to a word tells you the person does that, okay? So if you said I work, that is what you do. I am a worker. So it's a person who works when you add the ER at the end. So you are going to work on that here to figure out what you call someone who plays, someone who helps, someone who paints, and someone who surfs. Then you write your own sentence, at the bottom using, you can use one of these words from above, naming someone who does something, or if you want to try to make up your own, you are welcome to. But be careful with that because better, sister, if you are better, you're not someone who bets, unless you're using it that way. A sister is not someone who sists, right? So be careful with that. Not every word ending with means someone who does that thing. So if you're making up your own word, just be careful with that. Let's work. Oh, you also have the leveled reader to work on and your independent reading. And like I said, the moon you can either read today or tomorrow, whatever you have time for. So let's work on adjectives. So again, adjective is a descriptive word. You're describing something, a noun. A noun is a person, place, or thing. So describing it with those words, something that you can see or feel or taste, those are the sensory adjectives. Maybe it's about the size or the color or the number of things. There are a lot of different ways you can use adjectives. So I wrote some sentences here, and I want to read them as is first, and then talk about the blanks. So if I said, I jump in the pool. That's a fine sentence. Starts with a capital, ends with a period. But it's not the most exciting sentence. It's not the most descriptive sentence. So I put a blank in there. I jump in the blank pool. Can you think of an adjective that might go in that blank? I could say, I jump in the big pool. That tells about the size, right? And you can imagine a big pool instead of a small pool. I jump in the deep pool. That tells you the depth of it. Is it shallow? Is it deep? Probably not a kiddie pool if it's deep, right? So it gives you a picture and it's a little more descriptive. How about I jump in the cold pool? You might be able to feel or think about how that would feel to jump in a cold pool versus a hot pool. Okay, so think about some adjectives you could put in there. How about this one? My mom has a blank car. We could think of size adjectives, color adjectives, or even some sensory adjectives, right? My mom has a blue car. My mom has a small car. My mom has a smelly car, right? So you could think of a lot of different things to put in that blank to make this sentence more exciting than just my mom has a car, right? Much more descriptive for us. How about the next one? This is a blank apple. Now, if I was just reading it without the blank, I would say this is an apple. But since I have the blank in there, we're going to think of some words. This is a huge apple, size. This is a tiny apple, size. This is a crunchy apple. Get that sensory word in there. This is a sweet apple. This is a tart apple, a sour apple, a green apple. So many possibilities right there. How about the last one? Do you like stories? Well, let's think about what kind of stories we could ask about. Do you like blank stories? What adjectives could you put in that blank? Do you like scary stories? Do you like happy stories? Do you like sad stories? Lots of different adjectives. Do you like long stories? Do you like short stories? Do you like silly stories? Do you like adventure stories? So many different options you could put in here. Try to think of your own. And there's also a similar game with some with some adjective suggestions at the bottom that you can put in which one makes sense in each sentence. That game is on Connect Ed through Wonders. If you click on the orange icon once you log in and you have the read and the to-do and the writing, there's an orange icon with a game controller. So you can find that adjective game, fill in the blanks, in Connect Ed on Launchpad. So go ahead and try that out if you have some time. Have some fun with it, and happy learning!